Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another brown bag session with an amazing speaker today. As always, guys, excited to have you here for our brown bag session in one of the most crucial topics in crypto today: security and attack trends in Web3. Well, before we begin, a quick note to all our Muslim community members. Ramadan Mubarak, wishing you a blessed and peaceful holy months filled with reflection, strength, and connection. Well, give me a second. It's always great to celebrate the diversity in our community, and we appreciate you all being here. What's on the agenda today? Today, we've got Yehor with us, on-chain security investigator and Solidity engineer at Hacken, who will walk us through the latest trends in crypto and DeFi attacks. He's gonna talk about real-world security breaches and, of course, what we can learn from them. We also gonna have an opportunity to hear more about practical security strategies to protect your projects. And well, let's keep it interactive as always. Drop your questions in the chat, engage in the discussion, and let's dive deep into the realities of blockchain security. With that, let's kick it off. Yehor, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Farouk, thanks for introduction. Yeah, just excited to be here. Hello to everyone. Yeah, and let's answer the main question. Or one of the main questions we might ask to ourselves in crypto. So custodial, self custody, or non-custodial solution, custodial solution. Yeah, so the new arguments appeared in that, I would say, that question with the Bybit hack. Yes, and I was mostly preparing to talk about the trends for last year to 2024, and of course we're gonna also talk about the Bybit hack and everything, how it happened and what the consequences and stuff like this. Yes, but we're gonna start um, with some with some information and about my current position, my who I am, and where I'm working at the moment. Yes, so yeah, I believe we're gonna start with that, and then I'm gonna be sharing with you some practical advices on how to save your crypto, or how to be just more defensive regarding the Web3 ecosystem, because the things might go very tricky, and there are some steps which you might take in order to protect yourself. So yeah, but first of all, yeah, let's start with a presentation, I believe, Farouk. So
Yes. Before that, we would really love to hear more about your career. How did you end up in Hacken, Igor?
yeah, I started my journey at Hacken pretty long, and I was working mostly on the different types of security researchers. And currently, I'm working mostly on as an on-chain security researcher and investigating, I would say, almost all the hacks which are happening out there, from the minor hacks to the majors, yes, such as Bybit hack or Radiant Capital exploit. Because as I work at Hacken Extractor department, our job is um, to to monitor your smart contracts, and not only smart contracts. monitor your project, the whole infrastructure of your project, and to just track, identify any suspicious, malicious activity in order to mitigate the exploit or to prevent it before it happens, with certain automated incident response in place. Yeah, that's we can go next slide, or the first slide. Yes, so a bit for me, some facts. I'm the author of paper about property rights distribution via NFT fractalization. This is pretty interesting concept, and you can find it by yourself by typing my name in Google Scholar and to read it. Then, as I said, I'm pretty old guy in Hacken, and at all I have about 4 years in Web3 security and development. This is pretty interesting. Just mix of wording, because it's actually development and then goes security. But I believe Web3 security should be you should not separate it. Yeah, so Web3 security and development looks nice. Also, I'm the member of Crypto Defenders Alliance, where where I help different forensic investigation firms to investigate to do investigation on malicious activity on Web3 ecosystem at all. And yes, I have studied in Great Kyiv Polytechnic University, and proud about it. Yeah, we can go next. So yeah, I'm gonna say a bit, describe the Hacken Extract and the place I'm working at the moment. So as I said already, that's a solution for monitoring and intervening those malicious, suspicious activity of your project, and we can monitor all the infrastructure which you carry on. And this is not only about Web3 security. It's not about monitoring your smart contracts. It's also about monitoring your Web2 infrastructure, such as your certificates. For example, DNS. It is actually pretty hot topic in Web3. It was like last year. It was the DNS hijacking. There were pretty significant amount of cases, unfortunately, with DNS hijacked. And actually, what is DNS hijacked? For those who doesn't know, this is when users go into your website, but the front end they see, like the front end, they might see this is might be similar or just identical, almost identical to the real front end which you have, but then they kind of they're gonna change the logic. The UI is the same, but the logic of front end and what you're gonna click, this might be manipulated by attackers. And for example, why it is really important in Web3. So as all the front end for decentralized application, they have the Web3 providers, and when you sign in or send in transaction, you actually giving the that the front end to to instruct just to prepare the instruction. Is if we can say like this, for which transaction it should be executed on blockchain. And if this is malicious, you might lose your money. You might sign malicious transactions such as permits for approving your spending of your tokens, and the token is just lost. So this is about DNS hijacking, which is really important, and which we support monitoring of DNS, what is being hijacked in Hacken Extractor as part of our Web2 package. And as for Web3, we have the bunch of really crucial monitors and detectors, such as a TVL monitor, attack detector, which detects any suspicious activity, such as whether your smart contracts were targeted by some suspicious actors, such as funded from Tornado or Railgun, like crypto mixers. And if there are the accounts like this if they're interacting with your smart contracts, our detector will it just will see it and notify you about such activity. And apart from other detectors, we have really low level advanced monitoring, which might allow you to track any of the block and transaction parameters which is being executed on chain, as well as any of the certain parameters of your function and events execution in a meeting and stuff like this. We have a bunch of different monitors for compliance, such as AML monitor, which might alert you whether you're being targeted by some AOA externally owned account, which was labeled as some just cybercrime, malicious activity, stuff like this. And for example, we have also circulating supply monitor, which is also really important, not only for security but also for compliance, just to be on track on whether your unlocks of your token are on schedule, and if they're not, you're going to receive alert. So yeah, pretty customizable as far for our monitors. We have the wallet actions. And this are about automated incident response on your potential hacks, exploits, and stuff like this. So the flow is following. You set up some actions, automated actions, which are executed when certain on-chain conditions met. For example, as a simple example, we might think about lending protocol, and in lending protocols, there is usually the funds are drained. In some cases, they are drained. For example, there are some pools. For example, for Wrapped BTC, Wrapped Ether, like for Link and stuff like this, so different pools, and the funds being drained due to several transactions. And for example, if attacker starts with draining, for example, Wrapped BTC pool, we will see it on chain, because this is really like if the withdrawal is huge, the TVL monitor, for example, we're gonna see it, and then we might execute some actions which you pre-configure an extractor just to be executed when this activity. I mean, this is pretty malicious activity, I would say. Yeah, for example, your TVL of some of your pool being dropped for like 90%. This is not suspicious. This is malicious straight away. And you might, or for example, pausing your pool. This is like, for example, as example of the action you might want to be executed when those unchained conditions met. So yeah, this is about incident response, which we support in Hacken Extractor. There are a bunch of different features, some such as on-chain transaction firewall, and using that, your transaction will not be executed. The transaction against your smart contract will not be executed if certain on-chain conditions again met when validating the transaction. If, for example, this is interaction from suspicious account, suspicious AOA, or if this transaction gonna trigger huge TVL drop. So this is a firewall which we support in Hacken Extractor as a package for our I would say it's an incident response and monitoring, security monitor. Yeah, that's pretty nice. You can check it out by yourself by going through Hacken Extractor.live and checking what we have. Yes, so this is a pretty intro. And now we're gonna see what we actually witnessed in last year regarding crypto hacks and exploits and the stats. So as I already said, our department in Extractor, we are analyzing the exploits which are happening on chain. And this is actually the data which we have aggregated during the last year. And so what we can say, so the total loss from the last year, about exploits and scams is more than 2.9 billion USD. And exploits, they are basically anything a part of scams, and the scams, these are mostly phishing. Yes. And if we talk about phishing, that's a pretty damaging threat in Web3. So yeah, as I said, I'm gonna share some recommendations which I see relevant regarding um, avoiding certain type of threats or minimizing the risks. So regarding phishing, I would say like the most popular scenarios of how the users, Web3 users, are being scammed. This is by clicking. The malicious links and signing malicious transactions. This first way, and the second way is by address poisoning attacks. So the biggest and yeah, let's dive a bit deeper into both of those types. So yeah, signing malicious transactions, pretty popular way. I believe you guys who are watching, I believe you have X, Twitter, and I believe if you just read some of the crypto Twitter folks or any of the Web3 projects channels in X, you would notice how many. I wanted to say agents in the comments. Yeah, that's true. But I wanted to say how many comments such as "this is an airdrop," "click on that link," and we are just giving away some stuff, and just click that link. And if you click that link, yeah, do not click that link. But if you click that link, it is really likely it's like when you're gonna connect your wallet, there should be a sign-in transaction, and this sign-in transaction is 100% malicious, and you might lose maybe not on your money, which controlled by this wallet, but big amount depending on the tokens which you have on that wallet which you are signing the transaction. So this is a first way. So do not click on any links and do not sign any transaction unless you're confident that the source is trusted. I mean, the source, what I mean by source, this is about when you, for example, in popular Web3 wallets such as MetaMask, when you when it is the transaction signing request, you might see and verify the domain which actually asking you, sending the request for you to sign the transaction. And if, for example, I trade on Polymarket, so I might see, so the domain is polymarket.com, and I might be just kind of confident that this is not a malicious transaction signing, yeah. But if the domain is like dodge.drop.elan. I don't know. So this is just very very likely that this is some kind of scam. So yeah, that's the first type of threat. I believe I've kind of described it. The second type of threat, this is an address poisoning attack. So this is basically when you send some tokens from one of your account to the other account, which also controlled by you. The attackers, and this is mostly being targeted for large holders, but I would say transferring $100 still you still might be targeted by this kind of scammers, and you might also be a victim for address poisoning attack. So in this kind of attack, hackers, or bad hackers, because there's just good hackers also, like white hats. So these are black hats, and they generate their AOA address, externally owned account address, with the beginning and with ending very similar to the address which you received the some crypto, and they, from that address, they send some dust amount of ether, for example, or some fake token to your account, and then you see. And then what's the idea? The idea is that you mistakenly gonna click, I mean, copy that fake address, and you're gonna put it to the, for example, some blockchain wallet to send some funds, and the funds are lost. So yes, if you have some question, again, you can ask me on chat or on the Q&A session. So the biggest exploit of last year regarding the phishing attacks, it was address poisoning attack for with a loss of 129 million. This was on Tron network, and USDT token was stolen. Fortunately, all the funds were returned, but this just you know funds were returned, but we cannot degrade the scale of such an attacks and its relevance, because so much money was stolen during this, and they are like a lot of such cases. So yeah, this is address poison attack. Yeah. Yeah. Can you please return to the? Yeah, actually, I can do it by myself. Yeah. Uh, yes. So this phishing, and why I concentrate on phishing, and I was talking so much about this, because this kind of way for me to share some advices, some recommendation on how to um, on I would say what not to do. So regarding the scam links and signing the transaction, malicious transaction, so you just verify the source. You verify the website you are going, and then when you sign the transaction, you verify the domain. And regarding address poisoning attack, do not copy any addresses from the Block Explorer, and to verify not only the first few letters and the last few letters, but also all the address when you send in funds. These are two practical advices. Yes. So this is about phishing. Yeah, the most damaging pattern from the last year in exploits, it was access control, and as you see here, more than $1.7 billion were lost in multiple access control flow exploits last year. And so Bybit, this year's Bybit, which happened almost 2 weeks ago, the damage of this exploit is almost equals to the total value lost from last year regarding these exploits. But still, last year's was the major trend. We can see smart contract exploits a bit more than 300 millions. And when I talk about smart contract exploits, it's basically the flow in smart contract business logic, and when it's got exploited. For example, reentrancy attacks, which is actually the most popular attack in regarding the smart contract vulnerabilities, and PenPy exploit last year, 27 millions. This is a pretty damaging case, and this is just this is what to showcase actually. Rug pulls in this data aggregated by Hacken, a bit less than 200 million, but this is this is not counting all these meme coins, rug pulls, and Solana, because it's really hard to aggregate this data, and actually how you approach, how you name it rug pull. If for example the developer rugging at the moment, okay, it's rug pull. But if the developer just keeps selling with small portions of the meme coin, is it rug pull? So so we count in just rug pulls at the yes. And that's pretty it for just overview of the last year patterns. I'm gonna click on next slide. And so if we compare 2024 to 2023, the total value hacked increased, though we saw the decrease in numbers of exploits. But the um, dynamic, but the total value hacked was actually more. And in this just first quarter of this year, the value of total value hacked is already more than in 2023. So this is was just a worse the worst quarter which crypto saw regarding this total value hacked. Yeah. So the next slide, again, access control compromise. This is the number one threat. It continues to be. It continues to be, and in this quarter we saw it one more time. So access control exploits these basically operational security flows, and last year it was a very popular pattern of this type of exploit when just one account controls uh, if just one account have administrative privileges over a protocol, over the set of smart contracts, and if it's just AOA, it's externally owned account, it is not multi-sig. So we used to encourage folks to use multi-sigs or some other uh, type of threshold signatures, but the yeah, sorry. The popular way of exploiting smart contract with access control in last year, it was just compromise of single private key, and if the smart contracts are proxy upgradable smart contracts, and in upgradable smart contracts you can change the implementation, the logic of the smart contract, and for example adding some backdoor withdrawals such as just withdrawal the money and stuff like this. So this was pretty popular, and mostly the projects who were struggling with this type of exploit, these are projects who where the management is just single externally owned account, as I already mentioned. So yeah, you have to use multisig. This is pretty cool. Multisig are nice, but these are no panacea. And we saw just last year we saw two tremendous cases when the multisig were exploited in access control compromises. And by exploited, I mean different types of actually flows. And it was Vazirix, the centralized exchange, which was hacked for 230 million USD, and was a flow in operational security. They were using multisig, but they signed malicious transaction. The similar case was with Radiant Capital. I would say one of the most damaging, unfortunately, one of the most damaging exploits last year in DeFi and in crypto in general. So it was a very sophisticated attack in multi-call, in just one single transaction. They managed to sign the malicious transaction via their multisig to transfer the ownership over the admin of their contracts to the malicious address. As a second operation, they upgraded the lending pool smart contracts, as Radiant Capital is a lending protocol. And in third operation, they withdrew all the money from the different markets, lending markets, such as Rub BTC, Rub Ether, USDT, DAI, and others. Pretty damaging hack. And again, the root cause is malicious transaction was signed. And we will talk about Bybit case a bit later. But yes, if we just talk stats, if we talk data and percentages, so last year we saw tremendous jump in tremendous increase in the percentage of access control exploits overall in crypto, and it jumped from 50% in 2023 to 78% in 2024. We're gonna go to the next slide. There's some information regarding bridges security and DeFi versus CeFi. And when I talk about bridges security, I'm not talking about security measures. I would say I'm talking mostly about the data which we have about security compromise, because this is a proof if the protocol wasn't hacked, it is not a proof that it is secure. It is just it is a proof that till the moment there were no successful so-called successful cases of exploiting the protocol. And if we talk about bridges exploits, so we saw tremendous increase in like decrease in value stolen from bridges, and in security and security practices also. So last year it was only 114 million stolen in from the bridges due to bridges exploits. And bridges, they were tremendous pain point for crypto industry and Web3. And just for me it was like security of crypto. I mean, the bridges security was just crucial thing for crypto security in general, because this is just a stone for it's critical point for interoperability, for using different blockchains, for bridging tokens, for example, from one blockchain to another. This is improved bridges security. This is what we, I believe, as crypto bros want to see, that's for sure. Yeah, so if we talk some stats regarding DeFi and CeFi, and so DeFi, these are just lending protocols, decentralized exchanges, farming protocols, and CeFi, these are mostly centralized exchanges, like centralized finance. So we saw some trend last year. If we talk quarters, the centralized exchanges, they were suffered more than decentralized finance, and this is kind of partly answered the question where it is more safe to actually hold your money. Actually on CeFi and on DeFi, it is pretty inconvenient to compare the values. I mean, values, I would say, locked on both on those like CeFi and DeFi. But if we are talking like the total losses, it's like this. And in this quarter, the first quarter of this year, the situation is the same, and it's even more towards CeFi losses, and I believe you know why. We're gonna talk about this in a few minutes. Yeah, so this information from the research which we did at Hacken, and we were investigating all the hacks in Q3 last year. So information is pretty old, but it's still just it's comprehensive in terms of representation. And so we determined that more than 30% of all DeFi hacks in Q3 2024 was possible to prevent with certain automated incident response. And when I'm talking about automated incident response, this is a similar which I told you way before at the start of our conversation, is when you configure certain automated actions which should be executed on your smart contracts when certain conditions met, like on-chain conditions. So yeah, this information you can check out the Q3, our security report for Q3 last year, and dive deep on incident response strategy, stuff like this. Okay, so we finished with overview about last year security patterns. So let's talk a bit about Bybit hack and the root cause and why it happened. Give me a sec.
As you drink the water, Yehor, it is really surprising. I mean, I do some stuff on Bybit as well, and when I found out about that hack, when I found out that 1.5 billion, if I'm not mistaken, Bybit hack happened and involved attackers exploiting vulnerabilities during a routine transfer from a cold wallet to a warm wallet, and it was leading to the theft of approximately 400,000 Ethereum, right? And then, given this scale, and the sophistication of this breach. I think we all would like to know how can like exchanges enhance their wallet management protocols, so to prevent such incidents. And a lot of people were surprised that even exchanges like Bybit, they do have vulnerabilities like that. So this is a hot topic that we are really appreciating you that you discuss and touch today.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So yeah, if the overview of that by BitHack, you already mentioned that um, it was the attack was executed when Bybit were up to transfer just routine transfer from the cold wallet to warm wallet, some amount of ether, and so the process is like Bybit used um, safe wallet as a multi-sig to manage assets, and in a in safe flow of signing transaction, you kind of have the interface of safe, which is being like that interface is operated by safe, and it is running from the safe infrastructure, so like it's like a given to you, that interface, like basically UI which you see by signing transactions. And that's actually this UI that was compromised, and as a result, the signers of Bybit cold wallet multisig, instead of so they saw on a screen, they saw the correct transaction, but under the hood it was malicious transaction of upgrading the implementation of the cold wallet. So the cold wallet is upgradable contract as all of the safe multisigs, and they use the master copy implementation of the of safe functionality. So the transaction was to upgrade that multisig in order to let attackers like Lazarus to take over the management of this cold wallet, and basically they were able to execute any transaction against this cold wallet, and apparently they withdrew ether and stake ether and some other wrapped ether, like significant amount of funds. So yeah, and here's I prepared some pictures of how the malicious code was looking like, and here's so this is a malicious code with a red background. This is malicious code which attackers injected to the code base of Safe. So yeah, this is actually pretty important to, as it was pointed out by Safe, and it was pointed out by Ben, the CEO of Bybit, due to results of an investigation from different forensic security firms. It was the flow on the Safe infrastructure. It wasn't Bybit flow. So Bybit flow, I believe, was maybe relying on that kind of flow of operation, of how you upgrade, of how you manage, operational security. But the flow was actually on safe infrastructure, and malicious code was injected into their code base. And here we can see this actually on a second line. Here's I kind of in a black boxes. These are we can see like array of two addresses, and these are two addresses as targets for this attack. Yeah. Uh, these are targets for the attack, and let me explain you why. So the first one is by Bitcoin wallet. It's like as this code was supposed to run on as a front end for your multi-sig operations. So this was important for the attackers to not let these codes be ran against any others multisigs which mightn't be the victims. It was targeted precisely on Bybit, and the targets for this code to be executed, this piece of code to be executed, this is a Bybit code wallet, and the attackers test multisig. So attackers were testing their old exploit sequence on chain, and they were doing it like 2 to 3 days prior to exploit. And these are it's actually, as I tested the exploit, why they actually needed to put their second target as their test multisig to into that malicious code snippet. This is because I believe this was needed to test the whole flow of the exploit via safe multisig. So they needed that code to be executed only for these targets, and they kind of insert their test multisig as a target in order to just to test it identically to what actually the Bybit signers are gonna see on their screens. Yeah. So and below there is in a raw data for transaction, there is malicious multi-sig implementation. This implementation, which actually will be like the original master copy, the implementation of logic for multisig was changed with this malicious implementation, which actually allowed the attackers to basically take over the control over the cold wallet. And subsequently, after this transaction, attackers withdraw ether and different types of stake ether in for transactions. And here is actually it's pretty interesting to the picture below on a white background. There is that's the picture from the just metadata of this malicious file. So it was uploaded 2 days prior to exploit, and after it, attackers tested the exploit identically by adding actually that target test multisig as a target, which I explained earlier. And after the attack, just 2 minutes after attack, and by attack I mean signing of the malicious transaction. Yeah, that's how I define the attack. Just 2 minutes after the attack, the Lazarus they managed to remove that code from the code base. So in order to just to delay maybe delaying the investigation of how that happened, and to actually so this will be the problem to just to see a root cause, whether it was problem on Bybit side, on safe side, and stuff like this. Yes, so this is a root cause of this attack, and here's actually that attack was like preparation, attack, extraction, preparation again. So hacker funding on a Ethereum network, and this is pretty interesting that attackers traces they were traced back to Binance wallet. Then malicious contracts was created. Then malicious code, JavaScript code was injected, and the attackers tested the exploit in real time on Ethereum. Then designing malicious transaction as an attack, and extraction as a funds drain, and the stolen crypto laundering. This is so at the beginning it was just one wallet receiving the main attacker wallet receiving the stolen funds. Then it was immediately distributed up to 50 different Ethereum accounts with 10k ether each, and then it was pretty complex and sophisticated money laundering scheme with an involvement of over 10K addresses. Like the distribution of funds in this case was just tremendous, and yeah, it's so yeah, this is pretty unique case because the scale of the exploit is huge, and the amount of money uh, the challenge it was really challengeable to launder actually this amount of money. This is notable that Hacken, we in Hacken, apart with alone, I would say, alone with other forensic firms, working closely to address and to track stolen funds. So yeah, it was pretty, I would say, non-sleeping days um, after Bybit attack. Fortunately, part of the funds were frozen. Yes, but this is always where the the place where you can see the needed improvement um, I would say uh, way to manage things, investigation, stuff like this. So yeah, it was pretty damaging case, I would say, for crypto industry. Thanks to Bybit, and with respect to them, they we at Hacken proved that they're solvent, and yes, because working closely with them. So this is a huge respect to Bendis here and the old Bybit folks. It was it was really tough days for them, but again, this is a huge amount of work they put on in order to investigation, tracking funds and stuff like this. So respect to them again.
Igor, sorry. So before it's too late, so the stolen assets, they were funneled through 50 plus wallets, uh, and then they were using DXs, bridges, mixers, and everything to hide that trace. How difficult is it to track and recover these funds once the laundering starts? Did Bybit do that? Did they compensate that amount of Ethereum or?
Yes, actually, thank you for pointing that out. The Bybit, the Bybit, they announced like about 10 days or so. They announced their bug bounty program for anyone involved to tracking and freezing funds. So this is like a if you help with tracking the funds, you might get a part, and if you actually the entity which frozen the stolen funds, you also will be awarded with the bug bounty. And I would say there were some great cases with freezing the funds. Unfortunately, the rate of uh, recovery in the Lazarus cases is pretty low. But there were some cases in this particular incident, uh, and I believe that the greatest was with Mantle ETH, and so it was a process. I said like a stake ETH. Um, it's like it's a wrapped ether. So you kind of just doing the request of unwrapping it, let's say, and in this process, there's just certain kinds of validations, and those validations wasn't passed. So this huge amount of wrapped ETH wasn't converted to ether, and the attackers wasn't able to just to actually to receive the ether and then to funnel it to different wallet for distribution and stuff like this. This is about certain cases of funds recovery. If we talk about the scheme of laundering, yeah, here's on a presentation. This is statement in extraction crypto laundering, so that it was dispersed across 7.6K wallets, using dexes, cross-chain bridges. It was with the new information, updated information, is like way more than 10K malicious AOAs. But if we talk about the ways of laundering funds. Yes, this so the funds, huge amount of funds was transferred to Bitcoin. First of all, using certain mixers and ec- um, centralized uh, centralized mixers, I would say, as appropriate, and um, the most the entity with the most volume of the stolen funds being transferred through. This is a Tor chain. Yes. Regarding the funneling, this is in Bitcoin there was breached a lot of funds. Yeah. That's yeah. This story. If we do not dive in so deep, but we already almost 1 hour. So yeah, I believe I will talk about a bit more about Hacken Extractor. So this is all about automated monitoring and automated incident response with different system strategies adjusted to your project, whether it is Web3 typical like DeFi application or whether it is centralized exchange. It is crucial to monitor your assets, to monitor your custody in order to just to understand what's going on. And if something not going as planned, you better have a plan and pre-configured automated actions which cannot be executed when certain conditions are met. I'm just I keep telling this like some kind of mantra, but this just how you want to see the on-chain scenarios when certain conditions met. You want something to be executed. You want to be prepared to these kind of conditions, and this is why the on-chain monitoring is pretty important. And as just we at Extractor, um, we were monitoring pretty closely different types of activities in a Bybit case, and this is just an example of our dashboard. Here's the main hacker account, which was receiving the stolen funds in the first place, and here is just the distribution of those stolen funds, 10k ether each to the just first phase of the money laundering, just distributing to the accounts. I would say like 50 accounts, 10k ETH each. Yes, this is about Extractor functionalities and how we example of what we would just monitor and doing in this Bybit case. And that's it. Yeah, I believe this is my link tree QR code you can scan. You can find me on X with this pretty interesting nickname. And so yeah, I've recently posted about a new hack. This is Infini hack for almost 50 million stolen. This is pretty interesting case. You can check it out. And yeah, Farouk, now stage is yours. I'm ready to Q&A. It was a pleasure to give that speech, and I believe that was interesting.
Thank you, Yehor. Yes, for sure. I mean, that was amazing. If you have research or you're planning to pitch, present your research on, as you mentioned, 50 million stealing case, we would be happy to learn more about this case and hear your thoughts about it. So please join up to our community and share some links if you have time, or pass it to me. I'll share this with our community because so far what we've seen today was amazing. And then yeah, going back to the questions, we've got a lot. I think we'll go with 8 to 10 questions. The one from the Alik Talipov. He's asking, well, it's projected on the screen. I think you can read it.
Yeah, sure. Does Hacken provide audits for project built on Tone projects that have Ton Wallet Connect integrated and released a Telegram mini app. Yeah, that's for sure. We have we auditing the infrastructure and your projects on Ton. So you can contact me. Here's your contact at Hacken, or for example on LinkedIn, or you can go to Hacken. Yeah, you should go to hacken.io to check our audits and our services, and you will find there the tone and the ecosystem, which and we support the audits on that. Thank you for the question.
Awesome. So another question from Alec is here.
Yeah, that is pretty straightforward. So how to properly choose a security auditor? Um, so the easy answer is you can go to Hacken. If but if we like seriously, I believe if there is different types of projects, protocols, for example, even in DeFi, you have a ton of different categories of projects, and I'm not even talking about different programming languages such as Rust, Solidity, Move, Cairo, different platforms, different categories of projects. So the security auditor should be trusted, and it should have some proved history of auditing, successfully auditing that type of project you are building or you are interested to go on audit with. And you might check audits, and you might check those projects where they are trusted and how they have been doing. So that's, yeah, again, you can go to the hacken.io and check different services we are providing. And regarding audits, there is certain specific section, so you can check it out. There are actually on this audits in our portal is pretty easy and intuitive to go through different categories. For example, if you're interested in auditing ERC 721 or ERC 1155, there are categories and filters you might go with, and you might filter for the category you are interested, and check the audits whether we did it or not. That's my advice. Okay, what do you think of Ton blockchain? So I believe this is a huge potential of Ton blockchain. First of all, yeah, this is due to Telegram and how many people use it. And personally, I'm not building anything on Ton. I'm more EVM based. I mean, EVM based and based also. I love base. So I'm not a Ton guy, but certainly respect for the ecosystem. And yeah, I believe the potential is huge. So that's it.
Thank you, Igor. This is Alec. He's a good friend of ours from Tone, and I think there's a little bit of a connection happening between Haken and Tone right now, which is a good thing. This is what blockchain professionals community is about. Here goes the questions from We Are Community platform. The, the very interesting one that I'm also genuinely interested in. If Bybit had used Haken extractor, do you think this attack could have been prevented or detected earlier?
So first of all, I encourage you to before answering, I encourage you to go to hacken.io and to find the blog post which was also co-authored by me regarding Bybit hack investigation, and there is the comprehensive overview of Hacken extractor in action and how it could have been identified and helped Bybit in their case. 100% to claim that they would not lose their money. It should be battle tested, and I cannot claim that, but I can claim and I can describe the methodology which we're using at Extractor to fight against cases like this. So at Extractor, we have the multi-sig monitor, which is detecting the anomaly of the transaction which you are up to sign, and it is not only for on-chain transactions. This also like off-chain monitoring and detecting anomalies. And the main feature of this monitor, it is to validate one more time, to validate and for human side also, and not for only for human. You receiving the alerts on whether there's some anomalies and suspicious activity in terms of transaction building or like raw data for transaction which you have to sign. Yes, but I encourage you to go to the Bybit investigation blog post published by Hacken, and there is at the bottom, there is big section of how Hacken Extractor would have been helped Bybit in this case by identifying and notifying about suspicious activity and anomalies regarding this signing the malicious transaction. Just not diving super deep into this at the moment.
Here goes another one.
Yeah, sure. The attackers used a malicious Gnosis proxy contract to take control of Bybit's cold wallet. How could Bybit have detected this before it was too late? So yeah, the attackers used a malicious Gnosis proxy contract to take control. So this is pretty important to stress that in a proxy upgradable smart contracts pattern, you have just like Gnosis proxy as a main entry point, as a proxy contract, and then also you have the implementation contract. So the implementation is like is logic of how your Gnosis proxy is behaving, yeah, who has a control to execute any action, stuff like this. So what attackers did, they changed with their transaction, malicious transaction, they they managed to have on a Gnosis proxy contract to have another implementation, the malicious implementation. So this was like this was the attack, changing the implementation of how the proxy contract is behaving. This is malicious transaction as it was. Yeah, and now how could Bybit have detected this before it was too late? So yeah. Actually, we have to define what is too late. In this case, too late is when the transaction is confirmed on a blockchain. Which transaction? Again, as I said, the attack transaction. And in this case, attack transaction is signing that change in the implementation of the Gnosis multisig. So if it is confirmed, if the implementation for this multisig was changed, that's done. I mean, so next steps are withdrawals, and that's another story. But you're not in control of your cold wallet anymore. So the question is, how Bybit would notice there's some discrepancies, something not good here before they sign the transaction, and this is again. This is just the question before. At the Hacken Extractor, we monitor not only on-chain but also off-chain components of building that transaction that should be signed. And if some anomalies, discrepancies occurring, you're gonna be notified. Not only you, but all the signers. Not only for those who just match the threshold. Yeah, again, you can check out our article regarding Bybit investigation, and to grasp more details on that, about multi-layer approach of how extractor could have been intervening to that hack, and just determining the transaction that it is malicious before it's signed. So check this out again. Sorry for a long answer. I'm just, just the process of thought.
This ones we love. Don't worry about it, Yehor.
Yeah, okay. Could AI-powered security monitoring prevent future hacks like this, or do human-driven responses still matter more? Yeah, this one's pretty easy. So first of all, security. It's not pretty easy. Sorry, it's not easy. It's not easy anymore. So security monitoring is just the first step of not being hacked. Security monitoring is the goal of this thing is to identify some conditions which you want to react to. The second stage is that you have to execute the automated incident response. And actually, it's not you who should execute. It's your automated system, incident response system, which should execute those actions. But human-driven responses, they are not enough. This is for sure. So I want to return to the PenPy case, and I briefly talked about it. This is 27 million reentrancy hack, and in this hack there were three attack transactions, and in each attack transactions there was a significant amount of money stolen, and only after the third attack, the folks paused their protocol. If they would not pause the protocol, it would fourth and fifth maybe attack, because they were more than just three attack smart contracts targeting the protocol. And when the pausing actually occurred, it occurred 20 minutes after the first attack. So the human-driven approach is not enough. You have to have this auto-configured system which is reacting when certain on-chain conditions are met. I'm not talking here about a lot of important stuff regarding automated incident response. You might pretty good strategy here might be not actually to let this suspicious or malicious activity to be executed on blockchain at all. And I was talking about firewall already, and this is a kind of circuit breaker. Is when you're not allowing the certain transactions due to different conditions to be executed. And these validations, they might be on-chain and they might be off-chain. For example, if some externally owned account or some smart contract targeting your smart contracts of your protocol, you might, for example, go to some off-chain service, as might be your service, as might be some third-party service, and just to ask whether this interaction is secure, whether it's not malicious. And you might get an answer, no, this might be a tricky one. So you do not allow this interaction to be executed on blockchain. This is another approach. But the most important case is that you want to be ready for such cases when you being exploited, your smart contracts bleeding and stuff like this. So yeah, human-driven response is not enough. Okay. This is Alex. When project should start caring about audits? I mean, we are about to release our DeFi product, but so short on budget, as it is almost impossible to fundraise before the launch and traction. So the question is actually when the project should start caring about audits. I believe you have to start. First of all, you always have to take care about audits. But if we're talking about just going through that stuff, I believe when you have an beta/MVP, when you think your protocol, your set of smart constructs, let's say 95% ready, before maybe some fine tuning, but if the core functionality is already in place, that's actually the when you go to audit your project. So like the key here is that you should not change the functionality of your smart contracts after the audit. And in security, there is at Hacken we use the term of audit relevancy. And audit relevancy is like a check mark. It's or true or is false, and it is true when the deployed code on on blockchain, which we can see, for example, on blockchain explorer such as Etherscan, if that code matches the one which was like the last audited commit. For example, if you fixed all the issues, and we kind of at Hacken we just fix that commit and we put it in our report so anybody can see, yeah, this is commit was audited. And if that code matching uh, the one which was deployed, that audit is relevant. So I encourage anybody to have only relevant audits. This is pretty really there's not much sense to audit your project and then adding some features, just changing functionality, stuff like this. So this just not doesn't make sense. So yeah, when you think your project, your smart contracts will not be changed in terms of functionality, of course you might change naming. This not about this not changing the relevance of the audits, but if you change some functionality, the flow of operation of actually how AVM execute your operation programmed in your smart contract, when you think this is all done, that's the time for audit. That was a great answer. Yeah.
Thank you, Igor. We've got the tricky question from the audience. Well, I think it's very insightful and checks your white hat hacker mindset.
Okay, if you were a hacker, what would you have done differently to make this attack even harder to detect? So is a question about which attack? About the Bybit one?
I think it's a Bybit.
Or okay. Um, yeah,
Yes,
if I were with those guys, I would contact somebody from Bybit. I would say this is what I should do differently. But if talking seriously, um, yeah, I'm not trying to think as a black hat hacker, and this attack was pretty sophisticated. So I will not. Yeah, let me just think. Uh, the question about detecting the attack and detecting the attack, like everybody saw the transaction. This is not really hard to see that the malicious transaction on chain. So the detecting is easy. This is just everybody saw it. But maybe the question might be regarding to for example to launder funds and stuff like this. So, but I will not thinking about stuff like this. I would rather think how to, freeze some money, how to catch that, catch that funds on an intermediary. This is what my mindset is adjusted for. Yeah. So, so that's my answer. I don't know whether I answered or not.
Yeah, I was also thinking about this when I saw when I got the news. Like, what would I be doing differently? I was thinking about increased like transaction fragmentation, like instead of transferring large sums in one go, maybe breaking them to many smaller, seemingly normal transactions and stuff like that. But yeah, always great to hear your thoughts, Igor. It seems like we don't have we ran out of the questions, and I think we're even good to wrap up for today. Well, this was a lot. This was cool, Igor. I mean, I loved it, and right away, I'd like to invite you to our annual event. It's called Community Day. It happens in the mid of the June every year. It's a 5 days long online event. So there are going to be a lot of cool speakers like you, and we would really appreciate if you spend some more time with us and host another session or workshop with us at the Community Day event. I'll share some insights on that after this live stream. But again, that was an incredible session, truly. A huge thank you to for hosting, sharing your deep insights on Web3 security and taking us through real world cases like Bybit attack, the evolving threats in DeFi, and how projects generally can stay ahead of the hackers. Um, let's keep that conversation going. I propose if you guys, blockchain profs, if you have more questions or thoughts, join the discussion in our blockchain profs Telegram channel, the chat. And again, Igor, thanks again for this deep dive, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. Igor, do you have any closing comments or anything to say to blockchain profs?
Yeah, blockchain bros, I would say. First of all, yeah, I appreciate everybody's time. I hope that was thanks Farouk for hosting it. Thanks everybody for preparing this session. It was pleasure to speak with you, and I believe, yeah, I would really definitely come up with something interesting in June. And one more time, thank you very much. If you have some questions regarding anything I said, if you're interested in my opinion, you can reach me on Twitter. And yeah, thank you very much, Farouk. Thank you, everybody.